Hello, my friends. It's Teacher Jasmine, and today it is story time. And guess what book I'm gonna read? Drum roll, please. It's Mr. Seahorse. Do you guys see all the colors on the seahorse? Super colorful, huh? Have you guys seen a seahorse before? Let's see what this book is about. Mr. Seahorse. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Miss Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that. Why do you think she's twisting, guys? And wiggling? Let's see. It's time for me to lay my eggs, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh, yes, thank you, said Miss Seahorse, and she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mr. Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. That's so nice of Mr. Seahorse, huh? As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. What did he pass by, you guys? What do you think this is? Should we look? A group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. These are trumpet fishes. Should we count how many trumpet fishes are there? Yeah, let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 trumpet fishes. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, replied Mr. Stickleback. I just built a nest and right away. Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs into it. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Where did he pass by? What do you think is behind here, guys? Should we look? A lionfish hidden behind a coral reef. Lionfish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Tilapia? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer. His mouth was full of eggs. I know, said Mr. Seahorse. Mrs. Tilapia laid her eggs. Now you are taking good care of them until they hatch. Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. You must be very happy, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam on his way. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. What did he pass by? Look at the color of this. What do you think this is? A pair of leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. So this was a seaweed, and these are called leaf fish. Should we count how many leaf fishes are there? 1, 2. 2 leaf fishes. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Curtis? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Perfectly fine, replied Mr. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis laid her eggs and I have stuck them on my head. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You're doing a good job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. So I guess this fish puts the eggs on his head. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Where did he pass by? What is this? Let's see. A stonefish hidden behind a rock. This is stonefish. Look, he was behind a rock. Stonefish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Pipe? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Couldn't be better, replied Mr. Pipe. Mrs. Pipe laid her eggs along my belly. Now I am taking good care of them until they hatch. You should feel proud of yourself, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. See, do you guys see there? He has eggs around his stomach. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Bullhead? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Tip-toe, replied Mr. Bullhead. Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs, and the eggs hatched. Now I am babysitting. You are doing a fine job, said Mr. Seahorse, and swam on his way. Look, his little tiny fishes. And time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that way. At last the babies tumbled from Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. One baby turned around and tried to come back into the pouch. Oh no, said Mr. Seahorse. I do love you, but now you are ready to be on your own. Do you guys want to see baby seahorses? Look, they're colorful. See? Look, they're so cool. The end. See you later.